What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So during the live broadcast that I did on my channel here just the other day, I had a question come up that was an awesome question that I wanted to answer here in this video. And thank you, actually, for all of you that have been tuning into those live feeds. I'll actually be doing another one probably on Thursday, just to let you know when I get to Mount Shasta for the Eclipse of Disclosure Conference. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, this question comes from our friend Karen. And Karen asks, what are my thoughts on the solar eclipse in relation to the optimal timeline? So she means manifesting the optimal timeline for humanity and spiritual development, she says. So basically, again, spiritual development for the human race. So fantastic question. And obviously with this eclipse coming up next Monday, with it being a total solar eclipse, it's going to basically cross over the whole US, and I'm going to a conference titled the Eclipse of Disclosure. I figured this is a very timely question to answer. So what are my thoughts on the solar eclipse in relation to the optimal timeline? Well, when it comes to a solar eclipse, you know, not just this one particularly affecting America, you know, which is very synchronistic given how tense things are getting in this country, but a solar eclipse in general, I mean, it's an event that literally it affects the whole world. Even if the eclipse isn't going over your part of the world, it's combining the two celestial bodies that are basically the yin and yang of our Earth. We have the light-giving sun and the basically darkness-bearing moon coming together, right? The yin and the yang, they're coming together to affect our planet. So on one hand, you know, it's physically affecting our planet because everybody's going to see it, right? Even if they don't directly see it, they're going to be tuning in with the magic of the internet these days, or they at least know about it. So physically, this eclipse is affecting the planet, the whole planet, and then energetically, right? When we have celestial bodies line up in specific arrangements, right, to probably based on sacred geometry and whatnot, that's going to have an energetic effect. Energetic effects that we probably can't even feel, that happen on different densities or dimensions of our reality that, you know, we can't even see or feel. So when it comes to this eclipse affecting our optimal timeline, it affects all of us physically, it affects all of us energetically. So it's a massive event. This is why eclipses have always been symbolized and discussed, and, you know, especially in ancient art and astrology and whatnot, they're very, you could say, the word escapes me right now, but they're always coveted, right? We'll use that for now. They're always coveted and important. So this eclipse, right, we're going to be able to utilize our collective consciousness to envision the most optimal outcome for this craziness that's going on our whole planet right now. And the eclipse offers one of the best points to do that because it occurs at a time where the whole world can get together to check it out and visualize basically that best timeline for humanity, right? So that's why these eclipses are so fantastic for bringing about change and bringing about that optimal timeline, because the whole world can come together at the same time and honor basically the light and the dark and transcend duality in that regard, okay? So not only does the eclipse offer one of the best moments to put us on that optimal timeline, we can utilize our collective consciousness, because remember, we're all connected. We're all connected with these to each other and to the whole planet. So we all use our consciousness together to manifest what we want. And at least with the eclipse in regards to spiritual development, well, like I mentioned, an eclipse, you know, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, they've always been symbols. As Carl Jung says, as a lot of psychoanalysts say, symbols run our world. This is why the occult elite utilize symbols so much, because there's so much meaning that can go into one without even saying anything. Language gets distorted very easily, right? Everybody's got their own different perspectives and their own different connotations with the way words go. But if you use symbols, you don't even have to say a word. it invokes such a strong feeling when just visually looking at a symbol. So the symbol of an eclipse, like I said, what are happening when those two celestial bodies, the light and the dark, come together, right? They're ending an old cycle that darkness ensues, and then the new cycle's beginning. What is that? I mean, at least what it makes me think of is the hero's journey, or the process of alchemy, right? The phoenix is dying, it's burning down, that old cycle is ending. You get that short period in time where everything seems to stop, right? That's right when the eclipse occurs. And then that new cycle is birthed. It's much like the hero's journey of Joseph Campbell's research, right? We have the hero breaking down their old ways of being and then building a whole new set of skills and understanding on top of that. So, you know, when it comes to spiritual development, I think this eclipse is going to symbolize humanity doing away with its old and starting a new cycle and being able to go through that hero's journey, because we're all going through our dark night of the soul right now, right? Humanity is going through its own dark night of the soul. So the eclipse is going to be a fantastic point for us to understand that. To understand humanity is going through its dark night of the soul, we have to get out of that. We have to start a new cycle. If we don't start a new cycle now, things are just gonna, I mean, we're gonna fail. That's a possibility, but we can't let that happen. So we have to utilize this eclipse, which is a event that affects the whole planet, and utilize this event that affects the whole planet for our best spiritual development and best timeline manifestation. So that's why this eclipse is so important. You know, one of the best times to get us to basically begin winning as a society. That's all. So that's what I have to say about that. This eclipse is going to be fun, and keep staying tuned. I'll be doing some live feeds and whatnot once I get to Mount Shasta, and maybe even look at the eclipse with one, so you guys can watch it with me. Done.